Hello and welcome to Rainy Tuesdays, a podcast by friends for friends. I'm Adam and I'm here with Ryan
Hello.
and Margot.
Hi.
How are you guys?
Pretty good.
Doing well in these chilly, now November months?
Yeah.
Oh, we just got November, but
I know I'm about to the opposite of one up you guys. You guys are about to one up me, but I'm sitting here like, oh my god, my computer says it's 37 degrees out right now, and that's freezing. That's so cold. And I know you guys are gonna be like, it's at least 10 less than that. Like,
I actually don't think it is.
really?
It is 38 right now.
I've one upped you guys.
It's 23 where I'm at.
Oh, okay.
But you're like close to the lake.
I'm
so it
I'm
should be
right
cool
on the
there for
lake.
you. Yeah.
But the lake makes weather weird.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah,
it was blizzarding yesterday. It was Halloween.
Hate that.
Doing work every now and again, we'd look out the window and it would just be absolute blizzard, and then 10 minutes later we look out and be sunny and the snow's gone, never to be seen.
How do you guys feel about this new Illinois trend of white Halloweens instead of a white Christmas?
I feel like it's been for a long time. It's been pretty cold on Halloween, but I don't know about snow. That's pretty new.
Yeah.
I know it happened one of the years I was there.
I'm not a fan of it snowing for Halloween and then not snowing again until like January.
Yeah.
That's what I dislike.
I thought it was.
If you're gonna snow, commit to the snow.
Up here they like salted like all the roads, and I was like, we're not gonna get snow again until like January or like end of December, like way past Christmas, and everyone's snow on Christmas.
Ugh, that's so odd to me. Like, yeah, because I've always thought of, October, November as transitional months. Like, these are fall, like going into winter. But now there's this horrible climate change of like, it's winter. Just kidding. It's like fall again, but in December. Oh, it's winter again. It's just so confusing. All right. Well, I started prep for this episode by just listing out things that I had wanted to talk about and or questions that I had for y'all. And then it just slowly slipped into all pop culture things that I had been seeing.
Such as the podcast.
So first and foremost, it starts with a heartbreak and ends with a question of, this morning I was sleepy and I needed coffee because that's how you wake up. And I was getting my favorite mug out of the dishwasher and I dropped it and it shattered. And it was a heartbreaking time. I was like, this is like the worst possible thing, to start off my morning. Do you guys ever feel like you get like an emotional attachment to inanimate objects? Like, I had like mourned that mug. Like, it's fine because it's a mug and I'm like, okay. But it was like, damn, like that sucks. Like, I love that mug.
Yes, absolutely.
I can't think of it off the top of my head, but yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of being particularly heartbroken by something destroyed, but I know, same thing, can't like come up with them off the top of my head, but absolutely there would be items that I would be very sad to have destroyed by accident.
I would say my car is probably a good one. When I got rid of my first car, that was very sad. It's like, dang, we've been on some journeys together.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just interesting to me because I was like ultimately this is a mug. Like, I'm gonna be fine, But like it was like sweeping it up and doing the whole bread trick so that there wasn't any little shards on the ground. It was like, but I love that mug. Like, I think it was the perfect size for coffee. It's such a cute little design. Like, yeah. I don't know. It's weird that I'm happy to hear it's not just me who has emotional attachments to objects.
I think it's pretty human.
Yeah, I feel like it. Yeah, but I don't know. I was also like, am I like caring too much about this? And like the answer is probably no, because at this point, like hours later, I'm like, I can probably find another. But like, yeah, I don't know. Now we're just straight into the pop culture.
I thought you were gonna ask how often we think about the Roman Empire.
How often do you guys think about the Roman Empire? How fucking real is this?
How did we not address that earlier?
Because we haven't talked.
Honestly, lately, every day. Because
all the time.
I have been watching this YouTube series that details the Roman Empire, specifically about like, I've been watching, there's a playlist about Julius Caesar and like every year of his life and like what's going on, and it's fascinating. It's so good. they're like 20-minute videos, and it's like you think this is it for Caesar, but he finds a way to come back.
Yeah, every day might be a bit of a stretch, but definitely frequently. And I feel like I'm not the best person because I was a history major and I studied in Rome, so I'm a little predisposed to think about the Roman Empire. And I was just finished what was planned for a long time, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which takes place in England pretty soon after the Romans leave. So there's Roman ruins everywhere, and the Romans clearly have a big impact on the people that you talk to. And so very much on my mind, more so than average. But I would say, well, not every day, even before that, I was still thinking about the Roman Empire frequently.
What's appealing to you guys about it?
They're so incredible.
Yeah.
They lasted for so long. They spanned such a large amount of area. They had such great technological achievements.
Sewers, aqueducts.
Pipes, yeah, just general running water, bathhouses. Their art's very cool. Mythology is cool because it just copied the Greeks.
Yeah.
Sure. I will say neither of you I don't but I'm not actually going to put my thought process on this. I'm going to ask you. I saw someone argue that this was like just a sense of like escapism, just like which is a human activity. Like everyone, dabbles in escapism, and for men or more masculine people, that it could be more of an escapism uh, that includes violence. Thoughts on that?
I don't agree.
Okay.
I mean, at least for me, although they were a big military might, that's not what interests me
Mm-hmm. I will say
wholly
you
about the
just
Roman
mentioned like
Empire.
their art and like religion. Ryan, you mentioned their sewers and aqueducts. So like neither of you were like the war, but like
And yes, it is very interesting, very accomplished military force.
Mhm.
I don't know, very impressive the way that was all structured and very successful.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any maybe obvious, but that's not what I focus on above all out. It's a component, but
Sure.
it's just a part of it.
Okay.
The politics is very interesting too.
Mhm.
The part on Caesar, like it starts out with like his first consulship, which is like sort of like midway through his life. And it's like consuls could only be around for 10 years, and there were two consuls, and like
Mhm.
sometimes the person you were co-consul with wasn't necessarily your choice.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so Caesar like essentially bullied the dude, and so the dude he was co-consul with like went into hiding after 3 months of it. And then at the end of
Imagine
their
you're such a
consulship,
bully.
the dude was like coming to give his farewell speech, and Caesar's like last role as consul was vetoing that dude's farewell speech, so he didn't get to give his farewell
Just a
speech.
final FU to this guy. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
A committed man. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting. I like the problem is that I wish this could have like only been a thing that women knew about before like everyone knew about it. Like I wish it could have been a thing that, we could have asked all the men in our lives without men knowing about it because I feel like the data is skewed now.
I mean, yeah, as it became a massive trend to ask about the Roman Empire, I was like, the Roman Empire.
Yeah, and this is my thing is now I'm like I'll never know if men actually think about the Roman Empire every day inherently or if it's just because they're like hip with pop culture and have seen this.
It's unfortunate for me because I started watching this dude's videos. It's Historia Civilis, a good
Fun.
recommendation.
Mhm.
Yes.
There's so many videos of
Love
there's
that.
like Julius Caesar's life, and then there's Octavian's life. It just goes like every single year, and
It's super
it's
cool,
literally
yeah.
just blocks. Like Caesar will just be like a red square, and
Sure.
it's pretty entertaining.
I like that. Yeah.
Honestly, those are the best history
Yeah.
channels of super terrible representations or super low quality.
Like it's about the content, not the visuals.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
But like content's really good. I think it's like pretty sound historically. It like pulls a lot from because Caesar detailed like he wrote about like his time in Gaul, his time during the Civil War, and then his like little adventure with like Cleopatra in Egypt and all the other stuff. And so like there's his account from it, but also like his account is most likely biased.
Yep.
just to make himself
Those are the
sound
best.
better. Yeah.
Fair.
But it's pretty good. The Battle of Alesia, oh, it's so good. That's the one where they circled them and they built a wall around their city, and then army was coming for them, so they built a wall around their other
Yeah.
wall.
Wait, I have heard of this
Yes,
one.
the
That's
Shane
fantastic.
Madej does an episode on it.
Yeah.
Not with Watcher, with BuzzFeed.
Yeah, that was a good show. That was a fun one. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm so curious. I want to know.
I started watching those videos before like that TikTok trend, and so I was like, oh
Well,
well.
so
I
that
have
means
been
both
thinking
of
about
you
it
have
for
been at
years.
least thinking about this for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think I'm a
Again,
terrible
history
example
major.
of like I
Yeah.
was literally in Rome for 3
Yeah.
months. Like, always loved the Roman Empire.
Yeah,
Kind of a bad example.
sure. But no, I'm just I want to know, and it's so sad because there's no way of like accurately knowing now until like years go by and then everyone's forgotten about it, and then we can
No one
ask
will
again.
forget about the Roman Empire.
Well, that's the question. All right. Matthew Perry died.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Who is Matthew Perry?
He played
Chandler
on
and Friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know he was that old.
Oh, he's not. He's
No,
like
very
mid
subtle.
50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not old.
Um,
He has struggled with drug addictions for a long time. I don't think this was drug related, but
No, they didn't find any in his system.
that doesn't help your health, because I heard it was
Yeah.
a heart,
think it
allegedly
was
a heart problem that then
Yeah.
caused him to drown in his
hot
pool.
tub.
Or
Yeah.
hot tub, yeah.
I think that's probably what it was. Is just like some sort of health issue, and then he wasn't able to like be alert enough to stop that.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. And like real sad. I don't necessarily want to talk about his death. I want to talk about people's response to his death. Because he died, and then the next morning, every social media that I was on, all 2 of them, were like, like filled with conspiracy theories of like,
Oh, really?
yeah, because his last few like Instagram posts like had talked about his hot tub, like stuff, like just stuff on someone's Instagram, nothing crazy, but so many people were like, I think he knew he was gonna die. This is like bigger than what the like news is telling us.
No, the liberal media is hiding the truth from you.
And it's like, geez, like it hasn't been 24 hours. And people automatically were getting into that. And I think like I wanted to talk about that and then kind of get into just people's involvement with celebrities, which is where we talked a little bit about Taylor Swift before the podcast.
Yes.
This is kind of where I wanted to squeeze some Taylor Swift stuff in.
Yeah.
It's just like, what an odd thing to do. Like he just
Yeah,
died.
that's really
Can't you just be
strange.
like, that sucks? Like, I don't know.
I didn't know about this at all.
It was Saturday?
Saturday.
That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, you were busy.
You're busy weekend.
He played Benny in Fallout New Vegas.
Yes, he did.
Um,
Because he played Fallout 3 in a
Yeah.
trailer and loved it so much.
That's
He
so
talked
fun.
about it, and then the producers of Fallout New Vegas were like, "Hey, want to come do this?"
Benny's
Um,
too. Oh,
Yes, I would like him. People complain about his voice acting in that game, and I think it's totally fine.
yeah.
odd. But yeah, it's just like it was just so odd to me to see people automatically try to turn it into like something for views, I guess.
Yeah, that's really. But to segue into a point, I feel like I don't use YouTube anymore, and I don't watch things on YouTube.
Fair.
But occasionally I will go on it and I'll check the trending page, and so much of the trending page is that.
Yeah.
Maybe not always celebrity based,
Mhm.
but trying to make the most out of whatever the current thing is
Yeah.
into some sort of larger topic just
Yeah.
for views. So like we talked about the Roman Empire thing. That was very common. And I feel like that's a good example of like it just becomes a funny joke that then you see every video is talking about that. And it's over 10 minutes, so they can get ads, and
I
That's all
am
I do.
fully gonna now like create a podcast episode where I'm quizzing you guys on the Roman Empire. But
Heck yeah,
Well,
bro.
Ryan knows more than me,
Yeah.
I know
probably.
anything about from 64 BC to 44 BC.
Oh
I know
shit.
the mythological formation of the Roman Empire, and I know if it still counts as the Roman Empire when it's the Byzantine Empire under Emperor Justinian.
Yeah, I also know.
Although not super Roman because they don't have Roman anymore, but they considered themselves Roman, so I count it as still the Roman Empire.
I know a lot from like 380 to the Byzantine Empire.
Oh my
because I
God.
am Catholic.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
And the
you know
Catholic's like,
that'll
And
do.
oh, we have
Constantine,
the Roman Empire explained.
yeah, not. Oh yeah, and the Holy Roman Empire,
Yeah.
which wasn't the Roman Empire in any
Yes.
way.
But anyway, yeah, I feel like I've never used YouTube, right? Because I've never done like trending pages or anything like that. I'm just like, this is a creator, like they're the ones I'm gonna watch, and I'll like
Yeah.
just watch them. Like I don't discover new things on YouTube very often. It's usually only like this creator I like already.
Yeah.
Has
Or like conversations like this. Like I'm absolutely gonna check out that Roman history YouTube
Sure.
now.
Yeah.
But
YouTube
I
sort of
wouldn't
sucks
search YouTube for that.
Yeah.
now.
I'm not
just
gonna find things.
because they show every time you're on your suggested page, they'll show like a video that has less than 10,000 views.
Yeah.
Just a random video that they think that you might like.
Mm-hmm.
And they're never usually good. And in many ways, this is hurting creators because people will watch this video and then realize it's not a good video because it'll be like part like 86 of someone's Minecraft Let's Play that has 300 views. And it's like, you don't want to see it. And so people are likely to go on that video and dislike it, which is not good feedback to that creator.
Yeah.
You just have this video from like 4 years ago getting like tons of dislikes because it randomly got chosen.
True.
The other thing that sucks about YouTube now is like if you try to find a video and it's not within those first 7 search results, you are not going to find it.
Damn.
Because it'll show you 7 search results and then it will show you a bunch of shorts that are maybe related to it. And then after that, it will show you 7 videos of what you might also like to watch that are not related to that. And it'll show you 7 shorts that are like, ooh, here's something else you can watch. And then it's just more random things that are not at all related to your search.
Just trying to catch your interest instead, and then you're like, wait, how did I get here? I wasn't even looking
it's
for
like,
that.
I'm trying to find this video, and so I have to keep adjusting the keywords and hope it's in one of the 7 videos.
I feel like so many services now are ruined with the push towards using algorithms towards everything. Like
I was wondering because I've heard this about Google too.
I know people complain about Google nowadays. I've never noticed anything wrong with Google, but I have noticed that about YouTube.
Yeah.
In that YouTube as a service, I would say, is very oriented into knowing what you want and not the TikTok sense of here's things we thought you might like. Like,
yeah,
maybe you could have a section for that, but the general function is people probably already, if they're going to use a search bar, they're going to know what they want to find and want to search for it. Putting algorithmic content into that only hurts the service and makes it not what people want to use it for.
Yeah.
Like I think algorithms can have a place and maybe like the suggested videos after you've already clicked on one.
Right.
Or its own feature, like I think TikTok is a good example of how to do algorithms really well. Like the For You page is algorithmic, but there's a following section. Like you don't have to use that, and you can follow certain people if you want to and only look at their videos, but there's a separate section for new things that they think you might want to see.
Fair.
The problem is like YouTube and TikTok have very similar business models, but also very different. YouTube makes its money by putting ads in front of and in videos versus TikTok where they show it in between you watching videos. And they also have a problem of TikTok has quantity where YouTube has quality.
Yeah.
But with TikTok, if you watch a TikTok that's not that good, it's okay. You can scroll up and watch the next one. Versus YouTube, you might be like 5 minutes into a video before you think it's like not great.
This isn't worth it. Yeah.
And then YouTube misses all those extra ads versus TikTok. If you like watch an ad that's just in between.
That for TikTok, it actually helps TikTok to see bad videos and skip past them because you'll go across an ad sooner.
Yeah.
And so TikTok makes its money by keeping you on the app longer, which is why they want a better algorithm versus YouTube's algorithm, which is we want videos that have shown good engagement and are like this set of time that have this
Yeah.
many ads.
I think that's fair. Yeah. But anyway, the like uh stuff that like I've seen lately, because Taylor Swift just released her new Taylor's version.
1989 Taylor Swift. I didn't know what that was about. So like me and Taylor Swift have existed in like two separate circles, and I didn't know. I thought it was like her being like Young Metro, where it's like Metro, like that's just her thing is to put Taylor's version next to all her songs. I didn't
No,
know there was a
so
thing with like
Like a
Scooter,
whole
whatever his name is.
Scooter Braun, not a good guy, scummy in the same way you think of most people in the like um show business kind of being. Like he made like a really bad contract and took advantage of the fact that she was like newer to the industry when he signed, and like it was a whole thing. And so now she like sued him, pettiest thing, like didn't take a lot of money or anything. She just wanted control over her own music. It's actually really interesting and something that I did cover in like uh one of my pre-law classes in college, but then also there was at one of the law schools I was looking at like seminars for prospective students, and that was in one of them too, because it's like such a big moment in um like the business law side of things, but
right.
particularly contract law. And so it's interesting. But yeah, so she's re-releasing all of her new things um as Taylor's version, or all of her old things, I should say, as Taylor's version. And because she has a very dedicated fan base, um, it's created this sort of system where Taylor Swift fans will not listen to the old albums as soon as a Taylor's version is released, to the point where now production companies are like, we need to change our contracts to make it so that artists cannot re-record. Um, and that I think is so interesting to me.
I that I've thought about that before
Yeah,
with her re-releasing all the songs. Like she already did the what I didn't know she had sued, so maybe that
yeah,
changes things of
yeah.
how ownership works. But my understanding is they wouldn't be able to do that because and it doesn't seem like she's changing them. Maybe she is a
Well,
little,
she is, yeah.
but not greatly.
Yeah.
And,
Not there's changes, and Swifties would be pissed at you for saying not greatly, but Rogue Talk
well,
not greatly.
if we
I
go
also
into Taylor Swift, Swifties are going to be mad at me regardless.
Yeah, not greatly. She's not changing them greatly, but it is like a whole new recording. Like she's not just re-releasing the old song.
Okay,
Like
so
it is
it's
fully
still a little bit.
re-recorded.
Then,
Newer voice, like she's older now for all of them. And
then
then
there's
like
from
then
the
I don't know.
vault songs,
there's also from the Vault songs,
which
so
I
songs
don't
she
think
wrote.
half of them are not great, and the other half I'm like she's probably like made this like this year. They're probably not
Interesting.
actually from the vault. The ones that are not great, I think, are probably genuinely ones she's like, oh yeah, I cut this one.
It's
Fair
like,
Now
enough.
you get to listen
whenever I
to
think
it.
it's like we cut this song, I'm like, well, there's probably a reason you cut it,
Right.
so I don't want to listen to it.
Or if it's a decent song, it's like, okay, so you made this recently.
Interesting. I don't know. Don't know enough about her to speculate one way or another. I also don't know any of the From the Vault songs
I
other than the
also
10-minute version.
there's a song on her newest one, 1999. So I did a lot of driving this last
Yeah.
weekend, and I listened to a bunch of her albums. It's really unfortunate that Taylor Swift's first album was her best, and that none have come close to being better than that.
Was that Fearless?
No, that album was so awful. I hated that entire album.
Shouldn't have said anything.
It is the worst album. D tier. Taylor Swift album called Taylor Swift S tier. The best.
Okay.
All
Okay.
country songs, perfect. Speak
Yeah,
Now
fair
is
enough.
pretty good. A tier. Red A tier. 1989 A tier. The last song in the new Taylor's version, it's a From the Vault, and there's just a weird noise in the middle of the song, and it's very distracting. It's worth a listen to.
I know that one of the 1989 songs was about Harry Styles.
They're all about Harry Styles.
Well,
Many
sure,
of
but
them
one
are.
of the from the vault ones was like the Taylor lore is that it was like if she had released this, like Harry Styles would have been ruined. Like,
As
and that's just like now that they're like cool and besties and like the whole nobody no crime theory is that they killed someone together. Like and that really bonds a person. Like,
So
um
Swifties are crazy,
Yeah.
and they have so many conspiracy theories about her, like this murder thing, or there's the Gaylors
Mhm.
who are massive conspiracy theory that she's actually a lesbian, which she called out recently.
Yeah.
Did she?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
the
she
start of her
statement.
album is
What do you think?
talking. There's a little prologue that is like her talking, and it's like basically along the lines of me being friends with women shouldn't have any backlash, right? Like people wouldn't try to make relationships out of me having friends and stuff like that. And it's
Okay.
basically talking like the Gaylor community was in crisis
Oh,
because it was like, oh, this is clearly about us.
Hmm.
yeah,
Where it's like she just wants to have friends and people sensationalize it.
sure. Yeah, I don't understand why it's not just Taylor Swift. Like fans of people will be like, "I know your sexuality better than you do." And like it's happened a lot unfortunately with the Heartstopper kids.
Yeah, I heard that one of them was like cyberbullied into
Yeah.
revealing their sexuality.
Yeah.
They had no
They had
like
no
they don't owe anyone that.
nothing. Yeah. You're obsessed with a character, not the actor.
Mhm.
Like and they just blur that line. Um and it's this sort of like stan culture thing that's just so unfortunate and it really makes me upset, especially when it comes to something like sexuality because there's so many reasons people don't
Mhm.
talk about that, you know.
Like that's really horrific to do.
Yeah,
It could have dire consequences for someone's life.
absolutely. And like talking about Taylor Swift, like let's say she was gay, right? Like she's like someone who I imagine came from like more conservative roots. And like family wise, like who you've grown up around, like that could be awful, you
Yeah.
know? And so it's just like, why, if you care so much about this person, why would you try to pressure them into a situation that could hurt them? Um,
Hmm.
and I don't understand that about fans. That being said, I don't think um, Taylor Swift has ever set off anybody's gaydar who actually has one. um,
I don't know.
so
There's a big portion of the Gaylor community is gay themselves.
that doesn't mean you have a gaydar.
I suppose that's true.
Yeah.
Pretty popular. So I was talking to my girlfriend about it. We listened to 1989 on
Mhm.
a like 1 hour drive, and she was telling me all the theories. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, like I guess I can see it because there'll be like lyrics and stuff. Like, ooh, this like references this, or like this is a reference to this. And I was like, okay. My main thing is like, why doesn't she just like come out as like gay or bisexual? Like,
Sure.
would that not be easier than making
And
all
then
these like
hiding. Yeah.
illicit references? And also, if she is like secretly bisexual, why is she making these references then? Like, what's the point?
Like,
Like,
as someone who has lived the closeted life in like a small rural town, you don't really want to send out messages. That's not the vibe. Like,
and if
um,
she really is bisexual, why is she dating all these Republican men?
ooh.
Ooh.
That's just unfortunately a trope. But just to note, like, have you ever heard of a metaphor? Have you ever heard of figurative language? People use it in lyrics of songs, and
Yeah.
maybe not every single word is a fact in her songs.
I think part of the issue too is Taylor has, not to say brought it upon herself, but half of the songs are like about her and her relationship, and then the other half are just like stories she makes.
Sure, and
And
I know
so
some of them are
people
about
are
like
naturally going to
friends.
draw conclusions of like, oh, maybe this is about like really her. When it's like
Sure,
her bringing her real life into it has created a little bit of a mess.
sure. I know that one of her songs she like literally wrote about her friend's relationship.
Yeah.
Like she was not a player in the like song like the characters of it were two completely people other than her. And like that makes sense to me. Like she has such a large discography, like not all of it's about her,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Adam?
Not related to this discussion. I was
That's
to
okay.
go back to Ryan mentioned it earlier that how kind of related that how wild it is that some people spend so much time online in these online communities
Yeah.
that is always mystifying to me of one having the time to do that. It can't all be children like teenagers. That's just not possible. Not that
Yeah.
teenagers are that free either. Like you have school
Yeah.
activities or whatever, maybe they don't. But or to care that much. There are a lot of things I like. I don't care about anything enough to spend all my time online discussing it.
Yeah, like the reason that we have like a smorgasbord of topics right now is because I don't think we can like fully make an hour out of any of these.
No.
So to like do an all day like nonstop kind of talk is interesting, and I don't
I can talk
understand
more
it.
about Taylor Swift.
Oh shit!
I can talk more about
Yeah,
a lot of things, but I just wouldn't
Yeah.
spend all my time
No, I
on
agree.
Reddit or Twitter or whatever talking about it and getting into fights about it and being
yeah,
like fanatic in person at Taylor Swift concerts or this movie that just came out.
yeah. So that's another thing. Is it's similar to we were talking about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I like apparently movie theaters were just wrecked after the Eras Tour movie, and like because people took it too far and they made a mess of everything. And then there's like these minimum wage workers who just want to go home, who
Mm-hmm.
have to like sit there and like scrub up every type of food that's been like smashed into the floor. And it's like just I don't know. It's when you like take this like excitement and obsession so far that it like does start to hurt other people.
Yeah.
That's when it's like, what are we doing? Anyway, other topics.
I think Swifties
Oh
are an interesting bunch. Sorry to
no no no
keep
no
on the
no no
Taylor
no.
Swift topic, but in
No.
that they being a Swiftie to me is almost a red flag. In that Taylor
An
Swift
orange
is a good
flag.
artist, and
Yeah.
it is a incredibly basic attitude that to like her stuff. But there is a certain segment of her fan base where that is a massive red flag. If because
Yeah.
like you are a little crazy and it's almost a cult, and it's more these like these people are trashing the movie theaters. Like it's that level of devotion to this person, and that the average person doesn't have. But there's a lot of people that really love Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
but would never do that. They're just normal people who like an artist that's good and everyone likes.
I think it's like a very vocal minority of like Swifties. Like I know that there's so many Swifties. Like not all of them are like this.
Which
Not
is
all Swifties.
which is true for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like on the internet, you'll see a lot of talk about Star Wars fans and how terrible Star
Yes.
Wars fans are. But it's the same thing. Like loads of people grew up with Star Wars and love
All
Star
three
Wars
of us
and
are
would
arguably
never
Star Wars
complain
fans.
about
You
all the
like
modern ones.
yeah, like none of us would ever like aggressively harass like anyone at a convention because they got the lightsaber rings wrong. Like it's your hilt is fine. um, but yeah, I think that's totally true. And it's just
It's
this
just
kind of
kind of that
bad
same
rap.
internet thing of
Like
like spending all this time on the internet seems to like build fanaticism within that
yes.
community, whereas the normal people who don't care as much to go into these fan spaces online will never reach that level of
Yeah.
cultish ideology
I don't think
because they're
I've
not
ever
in those spaces.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever met anyone who's actually like that about Taylor Swift. Like I know
No, I
Swifties
haven't either.
and they're fine. They're not this like aggressive. But it's like as soon as
Them
you
all the time on TikTok or Reddit or
yeah,
whatever. Like,
they're doing this kind of stuff. Or like they're harassing people who like said, I didn't really like this song. Um I saw this video where someone was like, um, oh, I like listened to this song of Taylor Swift's and it made me like listened to all of her songs. Like this song was so good. And people started like bullying them, being like, I can't believe you only like her now. Like just because this song is out. And it's like, why can't you just enjoy the fact that someone else likes what you like? Like, I don't know. It's just so silly.
And Taylor Swift is like, if not the one of the most popular
Everyone
female
knows of her.
singers.
Yeah.
Everybody knows them. Everyone knows her, and everyone likes her for some of her songs.
Yeah.
It's not like some underground thing that you can gatekeep.
No.
She's incredibly famous.
Yeah. Like, did her
There's
concert
like
cause an earthquake?
most
Or was that
possibly.
Beyonce?
One of them. Know. But there's just no artist more basic of a like than Taylor Swift.
And not like basic in a derogatory way. I want to be clear. It's
No,
just that that's
like
like she makes good music.
Like, yeah, just it's a thing that everyone likes because it's good. That doesn't make it bad that you like them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make you unique or special.
Yes. And it doesn't make you better than anyone.
No, certainly not.
That's the interesting thing. All right, Charlie D'Amelio cosplayed as poor people.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. So
the video of her really is unfortunate because it just makes her look very touched.
It's so she cosplayed as a Walmart employee, to be more specific,
to promote her Walmart snacks.
So this is the thing.
Lots of YouTube brand deals.
I saw the ad and had no idea it was an ad. I just thought this was a silly, fun video. Like, oh, look at Charlie just running through the aisles, checking things out, kind of thing. And that, I think, is the biggest reason that I think her marketing team sucks. Like, I couldn't tell you what the thing was. I know now that it was like for some sort of snack. Don't know what the snack is. And then, like, everyone should know that this would piss people off.
I just saw her like working the checkout. It just felt very patronizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked at the video
and then fixed her hair, and it was like, oh no, this makes.
Yeah, the video is very like, look at me, isn't this crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scanning an item for a customer, probably not, but
no, probably not for a customer. But like, yeah, it's just like, and this is gonna like. I want to loop this into like Dixie D'Amelio also said something on like I think it was their documentary series, reality show, whatever it is, where she was like, the goal is to just marry rich because I don't want to work anymore. And it's
I'm sure you don't have to work anymore.
Dixie D'Amelio is like a millionaire at like our age. She just has to do like a brand deal every now and then and is set for years. She doesn't have to work.
I'm sure
she definitely
set for years at
like
what she has right now. If I suddenly had $1 million, you could space that out for a really long time.
Absolutely. And so like
and her family's super wealthy independently before any of this happened.
Yeah. And so this is the thing is like, so she said that and then Charlie did this and like I think Dixie was a part of it too. And there was this video that came up that this person who was like fresh out of college, just got her first 9-to-5 job, was basically like, dude, 9-to-5 jobs suck. Like this sucks. I have to commute an hour every day. So it's like really 8 to 6. Like I don't have any time. And she was just like I'm supposed to do
7 to 6 if you factor in commuting.
Yeah. Like, and it's hard. It's not like just this easy little transition that like, you know, is quirky and fun. And like so many people reacted to that and were like, Zoomers just don't want to work. It's like, okay, I'm right.
I've been thinking about that video a lot this week because there was a lot of like those reactions of people like, no, work just sucks. And it's like, has it always been this way? And in many ways it's gotten worse and it's gotten better because there are more people alive now than there was 50 years ago. Which means more people on the roads, more people commuting, bigger areas. So people are living farther and farther away from where they work, which means longer commute times. The average amount of time worked has not changed, but also still like it's very interesting too. Like work from home has become like a bigger thing, which I think has like many positives and negatives. which like is great because then it's like if you're working from home, on average you're doing less work than people in the office, um, but also you're saving on commute time.
I can't imagine you're doing less work than
I
people
am.
in the office.
Yes.
Absolutely. If I'm working at home, I'm working way less than I'm in the office.
That's
It's an incredibly difficult time focusing if I'm at home.
There are so many distractions and just so many things you can do less of in the office. Versus if you work in an office and you have a question of someone, you just walk over their desk and ask them. Versus sending them like a Teams message or an email and then hearing back 30 minutes later, and then that puts you back and that puts them back. Versus you stop by, have a quick 10-second conversation, and then you get back to work.
Sure. I get all that. I just think like it also completely depends on like the industry that you're working
Yes, absolutely. I mean, your like graphic design job is seemingly the perfect work from home. Like, there's no reason
I
to
could
be
not
with other people.
imagine being in person.
But
Or like,
any job that require or is benefited by collaboration with the people around you,
sure.
just
But
is
again,
independently better. Independently is not the right word.
like
Way better than
there
being
is so much of graphic design though that like is collaborative, and like even that I don't like it is those 10-second conversations that I'm like, okay, sick. Anyway, I'm gonna go back for like hours of just my own work. And that I like don't I think if there's more stuff to like talk about constantly, then yeah, being in person makes sense. But all of that to say is just that it's like it's industry specific. Like I don't think that work from home is always better for every single person or every single job or industry or anything like that. I think though that it is like neither one should be the standard. Like it should be specified based on what you're actually doing.
Yeah.
But like yeah, so I don't know, if you're doing like more work at either one, because I do think it depends. Like it's just I don't know. It's like that commute thing, like adding so much time to the day. There's the idea of like
the commute does suck.
Yeah.
That's
Just in the time.
Because you're not doing anything during that commute. I mean, like you can be listening to music and stuff, and it's like time to yourself, but like you're not really doing anything.
I theoretically could work on the train.
No, you couldn't.
I don't want to, but I could.
If you get distracted like at home, no, like the train is so like constant.
No, there's something different about being at home. I don't know. I can't explain it, but just for whatever reason, at home, I'm just worse.
Across the board, people are just like do less work at home, which is fine.
Sure,
like,
but I think like
don't
another
need to do as much work as we do. Like there should be shorter work weeks. Like that's one of the things I've been reading is like a lot of the data of like the average commute time for like Americans is like an hour and 15 minutes a day from like commuting from and to work. Versus 50 years ago where it was like 20 to 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Hour 15 is terrible.
But like the thing is, like also if you ever want to like get a promotion in a lot of corporate jobs, you have to stay late. You have to prove yourself. Like you have to go above and beyond kind of thing. Like it's just this idea of like so many people are like, oh, people just don't want to work nowadays. And it's like it's not the same. Like
it's not necessarily that people want to work. It's that there are too many jobs open right now, which is a weird thing. And so many jobs that don't pay well. Like you, like, I don't know, your Walgreens or your grocery stores, there's always like job openings and they need people and they're very understaffed. But it's just there's no people, there's like not a lot of young people.
It's not a livable wage.
One of the ideas that's been floated around, and I'm like not totally against, like I know New Hampshire was talking about it because they're very like libertarian stuff, is like, what if we make junior year optional of high school?
No, terrible.
No.
I think it's a great idea. Or you could work. And I think that's great. Because what do you really learn junior year of high school?
Lots.
Nothing. I learned nothing.
Lots.
I would rather work.
Most of my AP classes were junior year. Allowed me to graduate a year early. A vital year of high school.
I don't think we need younger workers. I think we need livable wages.
I think it'd be great to give people a little bit of experience. We help offset that part of the economy.
I mean, I think it's a critical aspect of everyone's life that every single person has to work a minimum wage job.
Sure.
However, I also think not in place of school, but supplementing. I think it's really vital that people get like real world experience.
Sure.
Going back to like the Charlie D'Amelio Dixie thing, rich people are so out of touch, and I think just everyone is benefited by. If you are privileged in any way, it is so vital.
Yeah.
But those jobs also should pay more, because there's like this weird thing of these low tier minimum wage jobs don't pay enough, and so people are disinclined to go to them for their source of income. But then higher paid jobs, and this is my experience, either are horrible at trying to get into them, like they have weird onerous requirements, or they're just not responsive. Like my job search for law was an absolute pain, and the job that I got was really one of a couple that responded to me out of probably over 100 that I applied to.
And we're talking like your undergrad.
And I have like an
was great. You were like top of your law school.
Yes, I remember when my law school, I did all these various things that look good on a resume, a lot of internships and stuff. Like, don't want to brag, but I'm a very good candidate.
Yeah.
And if it was that hard for me, I can only imagine it was much harder for people who don't have those same accolades.
Because like also, what if you had to like work like 2 jobs through law school, which is the reality of so many people. Like, I don't know if
I was super fortunate to get a very nice scholarship, and I did not have to work and could pursue internships, which look good on my resume. Not everyone has that and have to work their previous job or whatever. So you don't have that luxury. And then what do you do?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of jobs where it's like, I was like the coffee shop argument, like people like coffee, but it's like, but do you think the person should get paid more? And they're like, no, but it's like, but you like your coffee. If people don't get paid more, no one's gonna like run a coffee shop.
Yeah.
I just think it's so interesting. But I think we need to adopt the European model. We take 1 year out of high school, because they're not learning anything.
I don't like 1 year out of high school, but I would support a break year in between high school and college.
That I think is great.
So.
That I know that's a big English thing.
Why take a break here? Go right into college. Take out from high school. We're not learning anything in high school.
But we are.
The AP classes are optional, and most people don't do AP classes. Most universities are phasing out AP classes, which is silly.
It's not about AP.
Because they don't have money.
One AP class. Like there's college and the high school programs. There's also just accelerated classes that high schools give. There's also just classes that your high school gives. Also, like the whole thing of this idea of like, oh, people are overeducated. Not a thing.
Also, if kids are expected to choose majors and what they have to do at 18, and I know it was a common thing of people would say that, oh no, you have 2 years to choose a major. Absolutely not true. You have to choose right away, because the classes for your major start right away. Unless you do something crazy easy like history, and you can get that done in like a year. Engineering or any harder degree, you really have to do all 4 years.
That's like the
craziest thing. And so if you have to figure out what you want to do, you need high school and all the classes that ideally your high school would offer to give you any hope of trying to figure out what that thing is.
Or you take 1 of the years of high school to get actual real world experience, but you wouldn't, and you're like, oh dang, this but is you wouldn't work a real job. This is what I don't.
But you wouldn't work at a job that would, if you're considering college, you wouldn't work at a job that would, like I worked in an ice cream shop. That doesn't help me figure out that I want to be a lawyer.
I still think you get like some real world experience from like those types of jobs.
Yes, but not.
Experience.
It doesn't. I don't think it's comparable to what you get in school.
Yeah,
I think it's like I mentioned. I think it's a really good supplement and a vital supplement, but not a replacement.
I think what we could do is replace a class. Like it could be
replace a whole year.
No,
in the high school system.
Gap year then.
Yeah, I like. Well, yes,
the American from college.
But like, hear me out. The whole idea
people can
of
start
like,
college a little bit later.
Yeah, that's
people live till they're 75. You have so much time.
But like, the thing about like the replacing like a school year and being like, oh, American schools are trash, is it's like you think that's gonna make them better?
No, I don't think it will. I think we're just doing what we're doing. We know it's bad, so let's replace it. This is what the Europeans did. Let's be like the Europeans.
God. We left them, Ryan. This is
and it's
a new
time
world.
To go back.
Oh my God. Union Jack just starts rising in the background. Um, all right. Other than capitalism and the 9 to 5 schedule, and Halloween's death, what are your y'all's parades?
On the theme of companies, corporations being terrible, Netflix I finally lost. It's gone. It won't let me continue. But to Netflix's point, I suckered into their system because it did it to us where it's finally like, this isn't your home network. And before, when that happened, we were able to just say we're traveling, and it sent us like a code or whatever. But it didn't even give us the option this time. It's like, buy a new account. And we're one episode left, the season finale or series finale of Sex Education. Right before that, and we're like, well, we gotta watch it. So I don't know. That's temporary though. I cannot imagine we would be retaining Netflix.
That's fair.
I like Netflix a lot. I think they're the best streaming service and have the best shows.
Definitely
like
the best,
routinely the best shows. I think other streaming services have great shows, but in segments. Like HBO, I'll tune into HBO for Last of Us or House of Dragon, but not generally. Whereas Netflix, there's always something worth watching, even if it's not as high quality as others. But they're killing me with this, and it's just not. I just can't. It's $16 a month for their normal service. I can't afford that. And
I saw this one thing where someone was like rotating streaming services.
Yeah.
So they were like, I get one streaming service a month, and then I like switch it out the next month, kind of thing.
And that might be what ends up happening.
I think it's a good system.
And to me, that's too much work. I just go to the pirate website. I have gotten so lazy. I have Hulu. I just use the pirate website because I don't like how Hulu runs.
You know, Hulu is
bad.
Also, we're boycotting.
Slow. What are we boycotting Hulu for?
Israel and Palestine stuff.
What?
Disney.
I saw like a bunch of people like being like, "Oh, we're gonna boycott all these things," and it's like, no, you're not. There's too many things on there.
There's so many things. I think the best like system for boycotting is you pick two. Because there's always gonna it's the whole there's no ethical consumption under capitalism thing. So pick two of the like 50 billion companies that are evil.
I don't think any of these streaming services are big money makers. I think Netflix cashed in at the beginning, and no one else can make that anymore.
This writer's strike is also taking an interesting turn because the studios are like they're putting one more deal forward, and then they're not going to negotiate till January, and then also
or the actors, you mean?
Oh yeah, the actors. Yeah. And a lot of actors got egg on their face with this whole Israel-Palestine thing, and then like the SAG-AFTRA is like had to step in and be like, hey, you guys probably shouldn't like be saying anything about this. This is making all of us look bad.
Yeah.
So
it's an interesting time, but no, I do think it's crazy that Netflix is really doing this.
I mean, I'm torn because like in one sense, we wouldn't have paid that extra money, and we were able to do. If someone has an existing Netflix account, you can pay $8 a month to add an additional household for one device.
Okay.
So it's not a ton of extra money. So it's, I mean, way cheaper than buying another account. And we only ever watch Netflix on the PlayStation 5 anyways. So the one device doesn't really matter. So that would worked out fine. So we might continue that, but because that's far more affordable. But
yeah,
if that was not an option, and if I watch Netflix on any more than one device,
it wouldn't be worth it.
I'm not paying $16 a month. That's insane.
No. And like they got rid of their or are getting rid of, I'm not sure their timeline, the like lowest ad-free option.
Oh really?
Yeah, like that's on their plan.
They're getting rid of it because they just introduced that recently.
But they want to do ads now, or they want to like raise the price on it. Maybe is what I mean.
Oh, I did see that they were going to raise the prices again, which is absurd. They're so expensive.
$6 ad one.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me. It's just like I feel like these companies are getting greedy.
I mean, it's the thing that we talked about before, but of all companies, the need for investors to keep making money. In more money every single time. There's no like just keep on going steady.
Like we're stable.
They have to grow always. And when you're Netflix, There's no more room to grow. You
No,
can't
you
get
could
more
also just
people.
put
There
better
aren't more
shows out.
people.
Like,
Yeah, streaming is very much a bubble, and I think that's also what's going to be interesting too. With like part of why studios are waiting now is like they're waiting to
how
see
long will these last?
like how long will one like actors last, and two how long will the other studios last? Like who can we
break first? Yeah. Fair enough. Alrighty, how about you, Rain?
Oh well, you guys already know about my stuff, but on Monday my car decided to not start as I was trying to get home from work, and it was very cold out, and I had to like wait around for like 20 minutes, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to jump my car. I like found a dude. He probably thought I was trying to sell him something because I was like, hey, can I borrow you for a second? And he's like, hey, sure, what's up? I was like, hey, I need a jump on my car. Would you mind helping me? And like that was the easiest jump. I used to like jump on my friends' cars in high school because we all had like pretty rough cars, and so I just like know how to do it. That was like the quickest jump. It took like I hooked them up. I had started my car in like 15 seconds. It was great.
The guy was just nodding like he's done this before.
Then I drove to AutoZone, got a new battery, which was a little crazy because Cook County charges a 22% tax on batteries.
Why?
Oh wow!
Still,
That's a lot.
So it was
Cook
like
County?
$250 in order to get a new battery, but I've
ridiculous.
got a warranty for a couple of years, and I should make it through the rest of the winter. So.
Yeah, and that's what matters.
But I was very annoyed. I was like, I just want to go home, and I didn't get home until like 7:15.
Yeah, like that's too much. Yeah, I don't know if the mug thing really sucked this morning. That one was a bummer. I liked that mug a lot. But it's fine. I think a good thing is I have found a new like one pot recipe that I am just in love with. And it's called rosé beans, but basically it's like garlic, tomato paste, cream cheese, either cannellini beans or chickpeas. I prefer chickpeas because I love chickpeas. And then Parmesan and spinach. And you just cook it all down, and then you like slop it up with bread, and it's so good. It's so quick. It takes like 15 minutes to make, but it's like so tasty, and I like it. So I'll link that recipe in the description. Because it's so tasty.
All the easy, quick recipes.
Yeah, like wildly quick. It's lovely. Yeah, but all right. Don't cosplay as the working class. As a general rule of thumb, don't.
Except just be the working class. Yeah. Work a job for a few months.
Work a job.
Out of high school for a whole year.
Well,
getting such conflicting advice. Don't do that.
And don't get online as much.
Yeah.
As someone who worked 4 jobs in high school, you can do both. You'll burn out, but you can do both.
Or you could just do one. And which one you can decide.
Oh my god.
School. Kids, stay in school. Anyway. That was our Wednesday.
Bye.